All right, welcome everybody to the Church Scene Musician Podcast Show. I'm your host, CC Doyle. It's a pleasure to have a great person that I just recently met at Home Depot. But before we get started, I want to tell everybody to please make sure you share, like, and subscribe to this podcast show. Church Scene Musician Podcast is on YouTube. We are also on Instagram. And so we want to make sure everybody is sharing, liking, and subscribing to our channel. We want to build our channel. Before I get started again, I want to say that we just recently celebrated 3 years. And I am truly, I'm just like shocked because I've been consistent doing this podcast show. And it has truly has blown up, literally. So God is really good. I hope everybody is having a good time. I hope you, like I said, please make sure you share, like, and subscribe this podcast. We want to make sure everybody get to hear what's going on. If you cannot join us right now, you can go back and replay it on Facebook or on YouTube. But tonight we're going to talk about financial literacy and what that means to musicians, not just musicians, creators, those who sound engineer, everybody who works in the music worship arts in the ministry of your church. And so tonight I got a great host, a great guest, Chris Leathers. His wife is not joining us tonight, but he's joining us tonight, and he's coming from Primerica. He's a financial we talk about financial freedom and literacy tonight, pretty much. And so he's gonna share some things. He also is a musician. You see, he got his drums back there in the background. And I was like, you made me want to go to my music room. That's a bad set. He got it mic'd up and everything.
We mic'd up and ready.
Exactly. So he's a musician. So that just make it all better that he understands of the importance of freedom, financial freedom, and literacy. And we just want to make sure we support and just be better with our money management and things that we need to do for ourselves and our family and for our future. That's the main thing. We want to make sure that we're taking care. And before I get started, I want to give a shout out to my home church, my Olive Baptist Church, which is located in Stockbridge, and my pastor, Dr. Terrence J. Gaddis, and First Lady Gaddis. God bless you. I love you guys. And also the church that I played for these last 3 years, my other church, the Prophetic Flow Church, ADM, Awakening Deliverance Ministry, Apostle Temple Spencer, and First Lady Spencer. I love you guys and the ministry. And so we just going to get started. Chris, let everybody know, because I want folks to know you are a believer. Let everybody know what church you belong to. You can share where you from and talk about your family and give a little bit about your music background.
Wow. Okay, where to start? Well, first of all, thank you for having me on your podcast. Like you said, we met at Home Depot, and it's so funny, how you meet people when you're just out having a good time, and you can feel good energy with people. And so, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you and your podcast subscribers on such an important topic. So originally, I'm from Kentucky, Central Kentucky. Little small town. I grew up in that town, went to school, high school, and played in the marching band. And at that time, just a great experience because such a small town. But they had these drum corps instructors coming to our high school, teaching us how to play. I mean, these were top-notch drum corps guys. And from an age of 7 years old, my cousin turned me on to music. And it was an immediate attraction. And then my dad got me a drum kit. And then he got me another drum kit. I grew up in a very middle income family. My dad was an electrician, run his own business. And my mom stayed home out. I'm a 71 baby. I grew up in the 80s. I'm a Gen Xer. And just music, I'd always gravitated towards it. So I started playing at the age of 7 and continued playing all through high school. And at that point, went on to just start to develop bands and play with guys in the area, and that type of, you know, environment. And one of the guys that I actually grew up at around 13 or 14 that I met, I still play with today. So we've had a long history of playing together, touring the world together. And so I've got two young kids. I've got I got one that's 11 and I've got one that's 18 that just started college this year. And that's his little kid back there in the corner. So I grew up with music. I grew up playing music. And I grew up just loving it. I played all through high school in the marching bands and competed in those types of things. And then, you know, around my mid-20s, I started to tour all over the world and play music all over the world, and got married to my wife of 25 years. Met her in a club, right? I'm playing the show. She's going to college. Yeah, we met. She was eyeballing the band, and we ended up having mutual friends, and I got connected that way with her. And you know, we moved here into Georgia in 2000. Got married in 2000, and then up and moved. We moved because the people that we were associated with here in the area with music, our attorney, our producers, everybody was here. So I got tired of driving back and forth every couple of weeks. I just said, I'm just going to move. And we ended up staying here. It was just a great, I think, you know, when you give up trying to control stuff and just let stuff flow where it's supposed to go, this is where we ended up. And I think it's all been just divine intervention. Just somebody's got their hand on our family. You know, we've dealt with childhood cancer. My daughter's a cancer survivor, you know, so at 20 months old, she developed leukemia. I was initially starting with the company that I work with now and run my agency through. And thank you for the introduction. I'm an investment advisor. You know, most people know Primerica as life insurance, but we do so many other things. And what attracted me to that, and I think about my daughter at the time when she got diagnosed, we had no life insurance prior to her being born. We had really little to no investments. I think my wife at the time, you know, she was the one that had the good job and the benefits. I'm the musician. I'm the artist, right? Which usually means that I'm broke, right? Scraping by, playing gigs, making money, but spending it as fast as I make it, right? Those drums are not cheap, right, Lucretia?
Right.
And so my dad, like I said, being self-employed, freedom was always something that I was attracted to. Unfortunately, you know, a lot of times when we're not raised in a home where we've got financial literacy, or they bring us up understanding how to have a financial plan, it's different. I didn't grow up with that. My dad lived by the seat of his pants. He always had cash. He never really invested any money. He was always, you know, he grew up in a different era. And so he never really had any investments. Nobody ever sat down with him and said, this is what you need to do, you know, to reach your goals and to protect your family and all those things that we need to know. And we always wonder, you know, why is such and such life, why is their life better than mine? Or why does it appear that way? Or why does it always seem like I'm struggling? It's because we don't understand the money game, and we don't understand how to have a plan. We're artists. We like to create, right? We're just kind of like free spirits, right? We're like gypsies, right? We like to bounce around. So, you know, it was interesting how I ended up in the industry. I'd come off the road in 2000 and I think 5 or 6. And something was just stirring in me. And, you know, you pray, and grew up in a church, Baptist church in Central Kentucky. We go to 12 Stone out here in Hamilton Mill in Buford. And, you know, you stray sometimes. You always come back home. But at that time, you know, I'm praying for something. And Primerica shows up. And I'm thinking, you got to be crazy. Like, no way. I don't know nothing about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
With the wisdom that my wife had, because she was the one that kind of pushed me in this. Because as an artist, you have to understand, and you might be, if you're an artist, you're listening, well, what's the correlation? Like most people, it's like, no way. That's, I'm an artist. I do this or I do that. And I came to find out that I can be more. You can become more than what you are. And I can do both. Why can't I? Right? So many people are stuck in that, I can only do this, or this is who I am. No, you can grow. You can grow, you can learn, you can apply. And so we did. We ended up getting our finances in order. Okay. We got a small life insurance policy. We got a couple small investments. And it's really those little small habits. And around 2007, when my daughter was born, in 2009, she developed cancer. This is my firstborn baby, my baby girl. And here she is, sick with a critical illness. And there was something that tapped me on the shoulder in the hospital. And it was as loud as somebody screaming in my ear. And it was, you need me now, don't you? That's what it said to me. And I'm already emotional at that point. And so I think it's just been a journey for me, a life journey that we have embraced and applied what we've been learning. And life has gotten a lot better. I don't know where we'd be had it not been for becoming an agent and working in this business initially just for some extra cash, right? Because artists were always looking for extra cash.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, always.
We're always looking for extra money.
Listen, I understand. I'm a DJ too, so
yeah,
gotta get your hustle on. Yeah,
get your hustle on it. And I didn't want to be. I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to. I'm 54 years old. I didn't want to be in my 60s, still having to go out and play clubs because I had to. I wanted to because I wanted to. So I had to have another way to create some income. And when I saw how investments worked, and I started understanding it was almost like it mirrored the royalties that I get from playing music, publishing and writing credits. I get paid on those quarterly. I get paid on investments. So there was so many, even though it's a different industry, so many likes, so many corresponding things that go, this is very similar. And I get to help people. With music, we get to make people happy. They love listening to music, right? It's an emotional thing. And then with the financial side of things, I get to impact people's lives financially with, if they lose a loved one,
right?
Or if they, live a long, healthy life and they need retirement money, then they've got money to retire on. But a lot of people in the industry, a lot of people you probably know that are listening to this podcast, and people that I know, don't have anybody in their life that they can trust, and if they don't understand, they can be taught something new, because it can get, it's overwhelming, I think, for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
How to have their financial house in order. And again, my mom and dad didn't teach me that. And I would venture to say that most don't, And so what happens is we do the same thing. We just kind of go to work. We do our thing. We're playing music. We're working our day jobs. And then we wake up one day, we're 50 years old and we're still having to hustle and grind because we didn't implement some things. So I tell people, there's no limit on where you can start. You start where you stand. Right. And get the help that you need, because at the end of the day, I think biblically we're supposed to take care of our families. Yeah. And we'll spend money on $1,000 phones.
You talking good?
We'll spend money on. You tell me, you show somebody's checkbook or bank statement, I tell you exactly what they value. but they won't spend $50 to have life insurance to
Mm,
make sure their loved ones that they say they love the most will be taken care of. And here's the thing, it ain't an if, it's just a
right.
when. There's a
Mm-hmm.
100% chance me and you ain't gonna be around in about 50, 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like none of us getting out of here alive.
None of us.
I want my kids to be taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth $1, $2, $3 a day? Is
Mm,
your retirement, So I just get people to think about that, when it comes to the artist. I know the artist's mind,
right.
you know. It happened to me, I'm healthy, I'm good.
You just never know. I mean, you could be on that tour bus, God forbid, and everyone pass away,
Yeah.
and you don't have life insurance.
Yeah.
Now we have to do a benefit concert, or we have to do GoFundMe, or have some kind of musical to raise funds because you didn't have life insurance. And that is, I have seen it in the church musicians, I've seen it in the secular musicians, the club musicians. It doesn't matter. I have seen it, and I'm like, all them gigs and tours and churches you play. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about mega churches. And you
Right.
mean to tell me you didn't have any life insurance? You don't have no savings, no type of benefits, but you making all this money, you buying all these lavish, and nothing wrong, because I like nice things. Don't
Of
get me
course.
wrong. And you buy all this gear, and you make sure you got insurance on your gear, but not on yourself. And so to me, that is, we have to get our, even the Bible talks about you have to get your house in order. Period.
Yeah.
We have to get our finances together, not just for yourself, for your family, and you want that financial freedom. So you won't have to have your family that burden. It's already a burden that you passed away. And now we got to raise money to bury you. That is a lot.
It's a whole lot. And burial, is just the beginning. You've got a young kid who's depending on your check to eat for the next 15, 16, 18 years. That 25,000 for burial ain't nothing. That's just the tip
Right.
of the iceberg. It's
Right,
it's a
right.
it's a downward spiral from there that they'll never recover from financially. And it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
And it's just a matter of taking the time to sit down and go, this is what's important.
Mm-hmm.
I can do without this, or I can make, your family, they're the most important. People say, I'll take a bullet for my family. Would you? Then why don't you have life insurance? Like, are you, who would think that a healthy 20-month-old baby girl is going to get a life-threatening sickness? Look, we're one day away from a tragedy.
Come on.
We all
You're
are.
talking good. You're talking good, sir.
And I pray for health. I pray for wealth, and I hope for the best. But I'm gonna prepare for the worst. And people say to me all the time, "Yeah, you never know." They go, "I'm gonna pray about it." I go, "Well, have you been praying about it?" And they go, "Yeah." And I go, "Well, that's why I'm here."
Exactly.
Somebody sent me to you.
Exactly.
Right. So we got to stop thinking and we got to start doing, and be
Yes.
good stewards, not only of our money, but be good stewards to our family. We're supposed to lead our family.
Yes.
As dads and as parents. And
Yes.
if I'm not here, I tell people, I love them while I'm here. Do I love them less because I'm gone? No. I should be taking care of them, right? And make sure that they got a better way growing up so they don't have to struggle. You may not be able to save $1 million, but you can buy $1 million life insurance policy and pass it on and change generational wealth. We're supposed, like it says in the book, we're supposed to leave something to our family.
An inheritance. Come on here. Go ahead and say it.
We're supposed to have an abundance.
Abundance.
The cup's supposed to overflow with.
Yes. Yes. Your cup should be running over. Seriously.
Exactly. And there shouldn't be bills and debt.
Come on. Listen. You remember I told you this when I met you. I used to sell life insurance, and with Primerica, I was real good. This was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And that was like 28 years ago. And I said, I could not believe how many people, family, friends, church folks didn't have life insurance. I was shocked because I'm like, you driving a Lexus, a Mercedes, a BMW, you got this big old house, and you wearing all these lavish clothes, and you got these nice watches and jewelry, and your hair is done, your haircut is on point, and you mean to tell me you don't have life insurance? That was a wake-up call. And the reason why I had joined Primerica, because when my mom had passed away in 2001, I was on her insurance. And I was like, I got to get life insurance because she left us an inheritance. Thank God I was able to. I'm the oldest. I was able to bury her, and we split the money. It's four of us. We split the money four ways, and I'm grateful that she had that, because if she did not have that, my family probably would have been doing some. Back then, it was not a GoFundMe in 2001. We would have been doing probably some barbecue sale, fish fry, car washes. And she was a singer too. We probably would did a musical or something because my grandfather had his own church. But I just thank God that she had the wisdom, and the knowledge to have insurance with her job. At the time she was at LabCorp, she was a phlebotomy technician, and she had life insurance, and she left us right. And I thank God for that. And so when she had passed away, I met a guy he was like, "You would be great. You got great energy." I was like, "Man, don't try to rip me up, you boosting up my
Right.
my ego." I mean, he was livening me up. He was just livening me up. But he was actually right. He said, "You know too many people," and I didn't even realize I knew a lot of people because I played for a lot of churches. Filling in here and there for a couple of friends of mine, or I just knew a lot of churches because of my grandfather. All these preachers I knew, and I was get in front of people, and even preachers didn't have life insurance.
Right.
And so that's why when I had met you, and you was like, "You need to join my team," I was like, "Man, my schedule is too good." I would send people your way. That's what I would do. But I'm just glad that you're here tonight, because all jokes aside, I tell folks you got to have life insurance. Especially if you're not working a full-time career, even if you are, you should have two policies, and you should leave your family with something, because you should not leave your family with debt. Just period. And not just that. I mean, when I was doing the life insurance, I also, I had IRA account and everything. So talking about investing, like you said, it's leaving an inheritance for your loved ones. Even if you're single, you still want to leave something for your family or whatever. Even you don't have no kids or not, you should still have a life insurance policy, because somebody got to bury you, whether it be cremation or just a regular burial service.
That's right. You don't want to, one thing that I tell people, even though the single people, they aren't our key market, it's somebody's going to have to somebody's going to have to pay for that. So don't be a burden on somebody else.
Yes.
Handle your business and get your act together. Right. Yes. Even if it's 15, 25,000, something that they can have, that they can take care of those expenses, because, at the end of the day, when the funeral's over, and I've been to them, you have too. When the funeral's over and everybody's going out the door, they bring that person a bill. They bring a bill, and at the end of the day, it's a business that they have to collect money for because of the expense that it is. And so, having, the thing that I think a lot of artists fight with is, life insurance people. A lot of them are just, nobody wants to talk to them because they're pushy. They just, I don't know. Maybe they got that used car salesman vibe. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, they always just slick talking. And I tell people, a lot of my clients, some of my clients are, tattoo artists that I know and musicians that I've been around, and because they don't want to deal with those kind of people. And I say those kind of people, but people that are, in the 3-piece suits, and they just sniff them out.
Yeah.
And if they would just understand that there are people out there like myself that understand and can speak their language, and then help them understand how to invest properly for their future. And they don't have to have a lot of money. Like I started my first mutual fund for $25. Okay. And it grew from there. It's just a habit. You play music and you practice your rudiments, you practice your instrument, and you're practicing the basics. Well, same thing with investing. You got to start small. You got to get in the habit. You got to have that muscle memory. You got to get in the habit of every month, and you'll be amazed that you don't miss the money.
Right.
You don't miss it because it's growing. Like if you're not investing your money, I call it the high cost of waiting. If you don't invest money and maybe you think it's too late, if you take care of your money, it'll take care of you.
Come on. Can you say that again, please?
I said, if you take care of your money, it'll take care of you. You don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be in the club at 65 because you got to make rent. You want to have money saved. And here's the other thing too with musicians, and I know a ton of them. Sometimes it ain't the best environment. Sometimes those late 3 or 4 in the morning nighters, nothing happens good at 3 in. Come
on. Listen, I get sleepy at 9, 10 o'clock.
I me too. But the studio hours are crazy. The gig hours can be crazy. And it's late at night. And, there's crazy people out here. And a lot of them come out late at night.
Yes.
So we just want to make sure that we're giving people the opportunity to, to say, look, if you've got some kind of budget, you can properly protect your family, and you can begin a small savings program, and get in a habit and go work towards your goals and dreams. And if something happens to you, your family's going to be okay. If nothing happens to you, then you've got money saved for retirement. But plan for the worst, hope for the best, pray. And because praying is great. Yes. We got to pray. But I think you got to have a written strategy. You got to have a written program in place. And
financial vision, make it plain.
Yeah, that's it. Financial planners are expensive, and so most middle-income families and people don't seek it out. What I do, it doesn't cost anybody to sit down and put a plan together. If they implement the plan, yes, they're going to be paying for the life insurance and putting money into an investment. They don't pay me a consulting fee. Okay, I just do that because we want to help make sure they're on the right path. Heck, I bought 2 new drum heads. It was like $100.
I just bought a brand new aquarium bass drum head, and that was $60.
Yeah.
And the stand was $30-something. It's like a snare stand. Like people don't understand it costs. And we constantly as drummers, we have to keep buying drumsticks.
Yep.
Even though I got my own signature drumsticks, I try to play those because that's like my little museum, my keepsake. And so people don't understand the importance of buying equipment. Drummers, we always buy stuff like heads, drum heads, drumsticks, drum keys. You already know. And cymbals as well. If it start cracking and getting old. So we constantly replacing things. And so if we can do that, we can put $25 a month aside for saving in an IRA or money market, some type of, Now, granted, I do have a 401k and I got stocks, but also I want to add some more investments. And so I will be calling you because I like money. I'm just gonna be honest. I like money. I like nice things. I like money, and people will try to make you feel bad. Ain't nobody gonna make me feel bad because I work hard. I sow seeds. I'm a blessing, tithes and offering, all of that. At the end of the day, we don't have one life to live, and I'm going to live well.
And it's so funny you mentioned that. There's a story in the Bible, and I'm not going to try to quote it. But you may know what I'm going to talk about. But it's the they sow seeds in soil. Some fall on rocky soil. No, it was the talents. Somebody buried their talents. So there was one guy who invested, brought and multiplied what God had given him. The other one buried the talent and nothing came of it. He brought it back, and he got in trouble because he didn't sow. There was no growth in it. And so, I when I look at money, people say money is the root of all evil. No, 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 no.
Right.
I don't believe that at all. People with money that are good people do good things with money. Bad people with a lot of money do bad things. So, money at 12% will double every 6 years. So if you got 50 grand in 6 years, if it's invested at 12% on average, it'll double to 100 and it'll continue to compound. So you got to get in the game, and you can start small and work your way up. But I think a lot of people, what I saw was I'm starting to see growth. I'm starting to see my money's making money. All we're taught as middle income families are go work for money. We're not taught the secrets that the rich that they've known for years, which is how to make their money work. Right. And how to have more freedom and more peace in their life. I mean, think about it. If you didn't have hardly any debt and you got more money saved, you can breathe easier. You right. Sleep at night. You're not as stressed out. When emergencies happen, so we got it, But so many people live way beyond their means and spend more than they make. And then they run into an issue, and then it all falls apart. And they're selling gear. I got people. I know people like that sell gear. I need money. I sell my gear.
Yep. I'm not selling my. Listen, I'm not trying to be funny. I don't care how times get hard. I'm not selling my gear. I put too much money into my DJ gear, my keyboard, drums. I got all of that. I got bells. I got African drums, marching drums. I got all of that, and I'm not. Listen, I would pawn a TV before I pawn my drum set. That's what I mean. I'm just going to
48%. 48% of Americans. 48% of Americans have no life insurance, and a lot of them are depending on their jobs, job insurance. Well, the problem with that is when you leave the job,
it don't go with you.
You lose your insurance. Then if you've had a health issue, now you're uninsurable. Now you can't get insurance outside the job. So if you ever look at if you ever look at somebody's pay stub, it'll say supplemental life. And it's saying that this insurance at your job is supposed to supplement your own policy. It's not supposed to be your main source of insurance.
Exactly.
It's a crusade that I'm on to go help people. We know bad stuff's going to happen. And, God forbid it happens to me, but are you prepared for it when it happens? And these things can be. I mean, it takes 30 minutes to get yourself some life insurance. Really, it doesn't take a lot of time. Or I hear I'm going to think about it, or we'll get around to it. Like I've heard every excuse in the book that you can.
And the thing of it is, you thinking about it and getting around to it. Like you said, God forbid. You get in your car and you get in a bad accident and you pass away. Yeah. Now your family is wondering, do you have life insurance?
Right.
And you have no life insurance.
Yeah.
That is a major problem.
It's a huge problem. It's a financial hole that they'll never get out of. And exactly. I tell people, I'd rather have it 5 years too early than 5 minutes too late.
Say that again, Chris. I like that.
Yeah, you
got to say that again.
I'd rather have it 5 years too early than 5 minutes too late. All right.
I like that. Yeah.
It's that important to protect your families. I've seen too many. And the other thing too is there's a lot of bad policies out there too. So I don't want to. Don't just go run and buy anything. You want to make sure you know what you're getting.
What's the best policy, Chris? Because like I said tonight, I usually have a musician or an artist or choir directors or a music director on my show, and lately I have been doing different things with my podcast. I had mental health awareness because a lot of musicians need to take care of their health, and I had a nurse that came on my show talked about the importance of self-care and taking care of your body, and your mind. Yes. And so now we'll talk about financial freedom. What is the best life insurance policy that families not just church musicians. This is for anybody who's watching this podcast tonight. What is the best policy that they should have outside of their full-time career?
My personal belief, and I'll stand by this and challenge anybody on it, is you want to buy inexpensive term life insurance, okay, guaranteed renewable. Okay, I won't get into the specifics of Primerica's policy, but that's what I own on my own life, okay, for certain reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And invest separately. There's so many policies out there that people are going to talk about your whole life, your cash values. Right now, the hot ticket is IUL. Okay, you see them all over TikTok talking IUL, Index Universal Life contracts. And I'll be the first to tell you they're the biggest pile of poo that the industry's probably ever created. Okay. Kyle Busch, as a matter of fact, he's a NASCAR driver. There's a lot of lawsuits going on right now where he's lost about $8.5 million because they sell it as an investment. They sell it as a retirement plan. Insurance is not a retirement plan. Insurance is not an investment. Insurance is insurance, but they bundle these things together because they know it sounds good to people. But what ends up happening with all these contracts, I don't know if you know this or not, but if you have a whole life contract, if you buy whole life insurance, and they pretty much all are very similar, but if you pass away and you've got, let's say, $100,000 death benefit and you got $50,000 in cash value, when you pass, the insurance company is only going to pay the death benefit. They keep the cash value.
Wow.
You don't get both. Okay. And so you're better off taking the money, and they're a lot more expensive too. You're better off buying inexpensive coverage and putting the rest into a real investment that will compound and is not going to be touched by the insurance company. Look, we all want something for nothing, and that's how they make it sound. They're going to get all this, and the truth is it's a big fat lie. Okay, so I, as an investment advisor, a certified investment advisor, I would never recommend hardly to keep your investments and your insurance separate. Okay, but the Gerber plans, Gerber Life, your Globe Life, all those companies are pushing because they know it's an emotional thing to people. They want to save money. This is an easy way to put money in. You got insurance, you got some savings. I just had a contract I looked at. I'm replacing that. If they would have put the money in a shoebox, it would have grown more than it was going to grow in that whole life policy.
Wow.
It's just nothing but numbers. I tell people, show me the numbers. Numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie.
They don't lie.
Right.
And your agent can. They can tell you whatever they want to tell you, but your contract is a contract. And so that's what I do personally. And what I tell people with insurance is all I'm doing is buying money. My little bit of money is buying a whole lot of money. In case I pass away, my little bit of money is buying a whole lot of money until my investments have grown to be a lot of money. Then I really don't need a lot of insurance because I've got cash. But until I got that big bunch of cash, I need to carry life insurance to make sure that the cash is going to be there.
Right.
Right. So, my daughter's 18. She's got a Roth IRA. She puts money into her retirement account. She's 18 years old. I'm not letting her, we're not repeating the cycle.
Exactly.
Right? If you know better, you do better.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. You changing the whole trajectory. I love it. You
got to change this right here.
The mindset.
Yes, you got to change that mindset and get in the game. Okay.
So
we only go around this.
You starting early.
Huh?
Yeah, and you starting early, like with your daughter. She's 18, and said, "Oh, so I need to get with my niece who's 17. I need to get her to start it, so she can start saving."
$50, you'd be amazed what $50 a month can grow to. It's and $50 these. I can't go to Five Guys with my wife and kids for $50.
Listen, I already know. Five Guys is good, but it is expensive. Yes, you gonna spend at least $100.
I see my daughter. She'll go through Starbucks. It'd be like a $7-8 drink. I'm thinking, Lord have mercy, you know. And you got people telling me, well, I don't have $40. Okay, but your nails cost $100.
Ooh.
Yeah, your hair's $150. You know what I mean? Like, come on, you can't. You ain't dumb. Priorities.
Oh my God! You said the nails cost $100. Now I do get my nails done, but it's pedicure. Listen, a manicure. That's it. Like it's $30.
Well, it's different if you got everything in order.
Yes.
Then go spoil yourself.
Yes.
But until you do, I'm a believer that you gotta first things first.
Yeah, gotta handle the business. You gotta, like you said, you gotta take care of your finances. And people kill me when they say they don't have an extra $40, $50 when I see them spend it on certain things. I mean, it's just, because I don't know if I told you I got a nonprofit and we're asking people to donate $25. That's it. We're blessing kids whose parents are currently or formerly incarcerated. And I'm like, you telling me you don't have $25 to donate to a great cause so these kids can have a wonderful Christmas, but you would spend $25 at a meal. Don't get me started for lunch.
I tell people, like, I ask, I'm very observant. I how long you been at your job? And they'll say, 10, 15, 20 years. And I go, you ain't got $50 and you've been at your job for 20 years. You may want to reevaluate some things. I'm not trying to be harsh, but again, we got to be first things first. And if I got a family of people depending on my income, it's my responsibility as a dad to make sure they're going to be okay, man. I can't imagine leaving them high and dry and looking down on them struggling. I that would break my heart, even though I would be passed. I don't know if that's even possible, but it's such a shame. It's a shame.
But it's a lot of people, and I know some people who don't have life insurance right now. And I'm going to send them your way because it's important.
And health reasons too. There's so many health reasons that as we get older. I tell people we don't get healthy as we get older. No, and we don't get younger as we get older.
Right.
Well, things start to add up and stack up on us. And there will come a time where you may not even be able to qualify for it. And at that point, now you're really up a creek. Because now I have some people call me, I want to get it. And I can tell exactly when they call me. And I go, what's changed? What's going on? And they're like, well, I just went to the doctor. I'm like, if we'd have done this 3 months ago when I was talking to you. So you can't call me when things are bad.
It doesn't work like that. Exactly.
Diabetes is a big factor. There's a lot of things that happen. So once you get it, they can't take it from you, but they sure can deny you getting it if you got issues.
So they can deny you benefits.
Well, they can deny you even getting a policy. Like if you've got a couple issues going on, with it could be diabetes, could be liver, it depends on the severity of things. But cancer, like my daughter, I'll give you an example. We covered her when she was healthy. When she was first born, I put her on my policy and she was covered. But as at that exact moment, she became uninsurable. If I'd have waited to add her after she was diagnosed, they would have declined her the ability to have life insurance. Now that she was covered before she got sick, she's good. She's covered. They can't take it from her. And she's guaranteed at least $250 when she becomes an adult because she's grandfathered into the contract. They'll give her 5 times the amount that I had on her as a kid.
Wow.
So you got to act when you're healthy.
Right.
And then you got nothing to worry about. It's when you wait. It's when you wait till I'll wait and get it. I'll wait and get it. And I can tell exactly what happens when they call me in a panic. So that's why,
or their loved one get shot or something or stabbed, and then they want to add life insurance, and I'm like, you should have had that before that incident had occurred. Like you said, you can't wait. You get in a car accident and you paralyzed from the waist down. Now you want life insurance? I mean, I'm not being funny, but
right.
You should already have that. And I keep telling people, you got to have life insurance on your children. You don't know, the school bus, God forbid, flip over and everybody pass away, or something happened at the school or whatever, God forbid, or they on the field playing, sports, and they just drop.
We see it all.
Have no life insurance on your children. You should have life insurance. I don't care if they're a baby. You should have life insurance on every child in your home. Period.
Yep. When you think about what happens with families, and let's say there's multiple kids in the home, and you've got a parent. It's something to think about. If you got a parent that passes, and they've got young kids, multiple kids, and I've seen it happen where both parents pass away in an accident. Well, sometimes those kids have to be separated because one family can't take in 4 or 5 kids. That financially they just can't do it.
They can't do it.
So you got to make sure to have that. And I will say this too: a will is a very important thing to have too. If you don't have a will, the state of Georgia has a will for you.
Yes.
And they can do whatever they want with whatever you got until they figure out, and that includes the children. So there are certain things as we get older, those things start to really become a really important topic. What's more important than your family?
Right.
What's more important?
Is God, family? Come on.
Yeah.
It's in that order. It's
not
God, work, and family. It's God, family, then work. So like you said, we have to get our house in order. And I pray that everyone that's watching this podcast show tonight will look at their financial and make some changes, especially those who do not have life insurance. Let's just start with that. We're not even talking about the investment part yet.
Right.
That life insurance is very important because it's so much is happening in the world. A lot of people, the government shut down, TSA not getting paid, air traffic controllers are not getting paid, people are losing their benefits, and people are losing their minds. And so we got to make sure we have our house in order and have life insurance. I'm listen, if anybody just inbox me, or if you have my number, email, whatever, contact me and I will connect you with Chris. Chris, if you I can put your stuff in the chat as well.
Yeah, it's fine. Absolutely. One of the scary things is too, with this shutdown, and I don't know if you guys, if you're listening here, if you know this is true, but if you're at a job and you're not on active payroll, maybe you take a leave of absence, maybe you're sick, but you have to be, you're not getting a steady check. You're not on the payroll no more.
Right.
Your benefits are not active. So your 401k is not getting funded. Your life insurance is not active because you're not an active employee.
Wow. I didn't even think of that. All I was thinking about people not getting paid, the payroll. So they're
I don't know.
And all of that is not active.
Yes. So if you're not an active employee, maybe take, like I said, a leave of absence, or maybe you're on short. I don't know. If you're not an active employee, then your benefits have a shot at not being. So I always tell people, check with your HR and make sure, because if they're not, then you're at risk. And then, of course, I don't know with the shutdown right now how that affects them. That may or may not be true. But I always tell people, you want to make sure something as important as your family.
Yes.
My thought is, why would you leave it in the hands of an employer that can cut you loose? Why would you leave the most important thing in your life in the hands of your employer? I mean, I know people are they're loyal to their employer, but my experience, yeah, they ain't as loyal as you think they are to you.
Mm.
You know, you ain't that important. They'll find somebody just like you to fill your spot. If right, I mean, I'm just being honest
Listen,
with it, being true.
the dirt ain't even touched the casket yet, and they already posted your job, the one that you've been spending all your time on, and that's been
Yes,
time with
ma'am.
your family. They already post your job, and they'll send flowers to your service or whatever. But
Yep.
listen,
We're
you
gonna miss
talking
you,
good.
Bill, but hey, we're gonna miss you, Bill. We got Phil. He'll be taking
Yep.
your spot.
Mhm.
You know, and it is such an important topic. Like I said, now I just had a young lady who was spending around $95 a month. She's 34 years old, perfectly healthy, spending $95 a month on life insurance for 150,000. Okay, we quoted her 34 years old. I could give her $500,000 for 50 and invest the difference into an investment. So when I say that there's not every policy out there is equal, it's not. So make sure that if you don't go through me or somebody that right, make sure that you can run it by me. You could just say, "Hey, Chris, would you mind to give me your honest opinion of this?" And I'll tell you.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of things out there you just want because, look, as a musician, I'm not reading a 60-page life insurance policy. Like, right, you come home and get a like, I ain't reading that. Nobody wants to read that mess, right? But I do practice what I preach. Okay,
Exactly.
that's important. I do own what I help other people implement. So, but I do appreciate you having me on and trying to get the word out about how important this stuff is, um, and hopefully help some people that steer them in the right direction.
Yes, and Chris, what is a good number for them to contact you?
The best number to call me, that's going to be 770
Mm-hmm.
597
Mm-hmm.
7775. That's my cell number. My office is located in Winder, Georgia. But to be honest with you, Zoom is how we're doing most of our business. So people are at home. If they're wherever they're at, I don't care if they're out of state. I mean, we hop on a Zoom call. We can do everything right from our computer. So convenient.
That's a blessing, and thank
Yeah,
God for technology because
absolutely.
even in church we do live streaming, and that's good for those for the sick and shut in, for those who working, those incarcerated, those
Yep.
who unhoused or whatever. They have a way to view any church services on live, and whether
Man,
it's Facebook, YouTube, or a church website, but they're able to view it live, and this is
that's
good that
great.
you can do life insurance via Zoom for those who cannot, because Winder is not around the corner. I mean, I live in Beaufort, but still, Winder is not around the corner.
Right. Right. No, it's not. Nope.
But
Absolutely.
thank you, Chris, for coming out, being on my podcast show tonight. Give your wife and your family my love. Definitely going to contact you too. I want to do some more investments, and like I said, I want to leave an inheritance. I don't have any biological children myself, but I want to leave a nice inheritance for my niece and nephews,
That's
because
wonderful. Good for you.
I don't want them to be lacking at all. And so I just don't. I want them to live good, just like Auntie. So, Chris, I ask every guest to always close us out in prayer. And you can give out another inspirational moment before prayer if you like. But I already put your information on here. So if anybody needs to contact you, they can. So just give an inspiration moment and close us out in prayer. We're done.
All right. So let's see. I don't know about any inspirational moments. I don't know if I can share that with you. I will tell you that I am going back to Europe in June. I'm sorry, May of this coming year, to do about 2 weeks of touring through Western Europe. I don't get to do it much anymore, so I'm really excited about that.
That's going to be awesome.
I got to get myself back in playing touring shape, but I'll do it. But I'll lead us out in prayer. Father God, thank you so much for Lucretia and her business. I ask that you bless it, bless her podcast, bless her family, for helping other families. Keep her in your hands and guide her. Father, thank you for my family. Thank you for all those that we serve, and let us be a tool for you to go and help other families. help them, get on the right path and serve them well. And so that if something does happen to them, their family will be taken care of. And if they live a long, healthy life and you don't call them home early, that they'll have a great retirement moving forward. And so, Father, thank you for all the blessings. We pray for health. We pray for wealth. And
Yes.
we pray for good times, right? So,
Yes.
amen.
Amen.
So, Lucretia, thank you so much and have a great evening. Thanks, everybody.